Hey, what's going on? I really did not intend to create a video today at all. So this is very last minute. This is very impromptu. This is not the way that I would hope to create videos in the future. But I wanted to address what has transpired today in the market. I mean, Stronghold stock was down about 25%. And the only relevant piece of information that one can potentially attribute this move in the stock price to is the fact that we've been trading at less than $1 a share for more than 30 days. And so this is something that has been in the back of my mind for quite some time. So this didn't really catch me off guard. I was actually more concerned that maybe a power plant had blown up, or that there was some sort of operational issue. This really has more to do with the cosmetics of the stock market, or rather the stock exchange, and sort of like the listing requirements. And so I thought I'd get into this a little bit here because, I mean, it's for some folks, I could see it being like a really jolting piece of news and kind of scary, and definitely not something that feels good, right? So let's kind of get into the details here. So I'm going to read from some notes that I created. On November 30th, 2022, so that's just a couple of days ago, Stronghold Digital Mining received a letter from the Listing Qualifications department at the Nasdaq stock market. So that's basically the Nasdaq stock exchange where shares of our company's stock trades. So this letter basically said that our Class A common stock didn't meet the minimum bid price of $1 per share, which is required by the exchange. Now, this isn't something that happens because the stock dips below $1 a share once. It's really as a result of us having been below $1 a share for over 30 days at this point. So this started an automatic 180-day calendar day grace period for us to regain compliance, with the listing rules. So if we don't regain compliance, our company's stock becomes subject to delisting from the Nasdaq global market. Okay, that sounds on the surface catastrophic. It's not, but let's go on. Now, this notice that was released, that was sent to the company on November 30th, and that we're just finding out about today, it has no immediate effect on the listing or trading of Stronghold's common stock. So this doesn't mean that tomorrow you go to your favorite stock trading app and suddenly you just don't find Stronghold listed there anymore. Somehow like your shares magically vanish. It doesn't work that way. We're going to continue to trade on the Nasdaq Global Market under the symbol SDIG, right, which is our ticker symbol. So nothing at all is changing, at least not at this time. Now, we have until May 29th, 2023 to achieve compliance with the minimum bid price requirement. So basically, if shares of our company's stock close at or above $1 a share for at least 10 consecutive business days before May 29th, 2023, we'll be in compliance with the Nasdaq listing requirements. Problem solved, right? So what are we going to do about this? First and foremost, our friends and fellow co-owners in management are going to continue to monitor the bid price levels for the common stock and will consider appropriate alternatives to achieve compliance within the initial 180 calendar day compliance period. So this may include, among other things, a potential reverse stock split. Now, people hear the word reverse stock split and they freak out. It's actually, it has no bearing on your economics in the sense that, like, if you own 100 shares today and there's a reverse, say a 2-for-1 reverse stock split, or 1-for-2, I should say, reverse stock split, all it really means is that the stock price, at least nominally, right, doubles, and the amount of shares you own are cut in half. So the economic value of your holdings stay the same. It's not like you're losing money or that shares are being taken away and somehow as a result of that, the value of your holdings diminish. So, and that's something I can certainly get into in a future video, but just very briefly here, it's a reverse stock split is not inherently something to be fearful of. In fact, I believe General Electric engaged in a reverse stock split not that long ago, and GE is a pretty darn well-known company, okay? Now, absolute worst case scenario, we probably end up like this. This assumes, we get kicked off the Nasdaq Global Market. Okay, worst case scenario, we probably end up on the OTCQB venture market, where the minimum bid price is 1 penny per share, and basically you can't be in bankruptcy. So as long as you're not in bankruptcy and you have a bid price of at least 1 penny per share, the OTCQB venture market is available. So where does this leave us as of right now? Okay, so if you were to look at Q3 2022, the actual 10Q, and you add up the number of shares that we currently have outstanding, I believe it's around 51 million or so shares, give or take, a couple 100,000 shares there. What this really means is that we need to achieve, right, essentially a market cap of about $51 million by May 29th, 2023. From my perspective, that to me does not really seem like that challenging of a task. But then again, we're in a macroeconomic environment that's incredibly challenging. We're in a cryptocurrency environment that's especially challenging right now. So, I'm optimistic that as we get through the rest of this year, there may be a lot of tax loss selling people who look at their portfolio, say, hey, you know what? I want to get out of some names that just haven't performed that well. Maybe for them, Stronghold Digital Mining is going to be one of those names. So there may be a lot of selling pressure into the end of the year here. But as we get into 2023, I'm going to be focusing on, as I am right now, on Q4 2022, which we're in right now. That's my focus. I want to make sure that we're going to end this year as strongly as possible, okay, so that we can really set ourselves up to go on major offense in 2023. And I really mean that from the perspective of, trying to get to cash flow, to be cash flow positive again on a sustainable basis, really wrangling some of those O&M costs that we've had to incur as a result of upgrading our plants, which I think are great investments for the future, but have inevitably caused us to have some O&M expenses that have been pretty heavy-handed. So these are the things I'm focusing on. This, yes, I mean, it's a distraction. It could be jolting, right? If you weren't expecting this and you're like, oh my gosh, are we going to be delisted? Does that mean, the value of my holdings go to zero? It really doesn't mean any of those things. But I wanted to address this or create this video to at least address this issue because understandably, it's something that's going to be, catching, I think, a lot of people potentially by surprise. And hopefully this, sort of sets the record straight as to what's going on. Of course, if you go to Zyner.com, scroll to the very bottom of the dashboard that's on that webpage, click on the filings link. You could be taken straight away to the SEC filings page for Stronghold Digital Mining, and you can read the actual 8K, which was released today, which, basically talks about what I just went over in this video. Okay, that's all for now.